And it's a great day for a great day, as I always say. And today on the Pirate Broadcast is no different. And we want to bring interesting people doing interesting things. You know, today, right now, more than any other time in history, we really have to have a little bit of connection, conversation, a little more patience, empathy. And as I always say, kindness is cool. And today we have Terry Earthwind Nichols in. And Terry has been doing some amazing things. He's been a U.S. Navy profiler, looking forward to writing a book. He's written a book. He's done some amazing things. We're going to dive into that today and share a few stories and interesting facts. And also just to let you know that we are here, and I thank you so much if you're here as well. If you're watching the replay, just drop in #replay so I can actually come back and follow up and have a conversation with you. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you're not here on LinkedIn, we're around the interwebs. And Terry, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Russ Johns. I am so excited to be here. You got such a cool show. I had to do a little pirate thing for you, de-ragging from my brother because I'm a sailor from another land.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So,
and this doesn't even require you to walk the plank either.
How about that?
Yeah. So we have quite a community of pirates, and thank you so much for being a pirate. So how did you get to the point of being a pirate today? Talk about your journey and a couple of highlights in your life.
Well, as you alluded, I'm a retired Navy man and a sailor. I've seen about 3/5 of the world, and got out of high school and wanted to see the world, and that's exactly what I did. And look back with a lot of pride and sometimes a little surprise that I made it, because I was in some wild places. I was never in war, but I came in during the last of the Vietnam era, and the Navy decided to send me other than that place, and I'm okay with that. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Navy and I agreed that I would retire just before Iraq and all of that stuff started. And I'm okay with that. I support a lot of people. I am a service disabled vet, and my company is global. We're in 13 countries on 5 continents. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, my time in the Navy, I've always been a people watcher. So when I would be in European ports and things like that, I'd be one of the first people at a sidewalk cafe with a mug of cappuccino watching people, because I
thought it was a blue suit with Maker's Mark at your favorite restaurant.
That came later. And that is, I still people watch, and that's what I have in my hand when I do that. So
we share that thread, Terry.
So. I love that. And so, back in 2009, I was on the edge of a building, ready to step off. As cool and comfortable as I am right now, not even breathing hard. I was done.
Yeah.
And little voice inside, voice behind me, whatever you want to take it, wherever you want to go with that, said, turn around, I have work for you to do. And I did, and I never looked back. And the work I do now stops PTSD and suicide ideation and smoking and weight issues and self-sabotage, a lot of different things online, like what we're doing right now, talking.
Yeah.
And we do it all over the world. And it's a wonderful thing. So turn around. I got work for you to do. I get that. Thank you. And I'm doing it. And along the way, I found that paying attention to how people subconsciously move while they're talking or paying attention means certain things, and I started equating it to my world of watching people all these years. And all of a sudden, boom, stuff started really making sense to help us find amnesic memories back in early childhood that drives people's behavior as adults. Dr. Sigmund Freud, a German psychologist, or psychiatrist rather, back in the late 1890s, was trying to prove that. and he was never able to. And guess what, Siggy? I did it. And we're doing it in 7 languages. So, and we're teaching it. So we know it works. And it's no therapy, no counseling. It's all online, no office visits. Very cool stuff.
So is it the body motion is the indicator of the challenge that a person is having? Or what's the connection between profiling and understanding the symptoms?
Well, when a person comes to me, and we'll get to the book here in just a minute.
Okay.
A person comes to me and they're at all in. Enough is enough. I'm done. Mm-hmm. You can't help me. I don't know what's going to be next. And so when they do, we take them back in time. We have them close their eyes, and we have them inventory a memory rather than tell me the story or the history of a memory. We have them freeze frame it, and it becomes a photograph. And when we do that, we stop emotion. If there's no motion, there's no emotion. So it's very kind of cool. And so somebody suffering from PTSD or suicide ideation or something like that, all of a sudden they're as calm as I am right now, just totally present. Because all the stuff that can stir up emotions are stopped. And then we ask them, what do you smell? One thing at a time. In the memory you're at right now, what are you aware of? This, and this. Okay, so what do you taste? Blah, blah, blah. We use the 5 senses. Here's what happens. When psychotherapeutic behavior people help people, they go from the front back, and EMDR, NLP, all that kind of stuff, they go from the sides in. We come from the back using an alternate neural pathway. So amnesia is a protection device, okay? And it only knows how to protect you on that neural pathway that was created on. If you go down an alternate neural pathway, it doesn't know how to protect you. It doesn't know how to follow, because it learns how to protect you as you learn how to live in life linearly. So A, B, C, D, F, G, 2 + 2 is 4. That's how it deflects and defends you. But when you're using the senses, it doesn't know where you're at because you're all over the place. It's abstract thought. So that's what makes that part powerful. So my practitioners and a lot of my clients have said, Terry, why don't you write a book? You've got some cool stuff here, right? So that's what we did. We wrote a book. And that's how I reached out to you, Russ, because you talk to some very interesting people, and I'm sure your audience is just as aware, because the book just doesn't help us with people who have those behaviors. It's like you and I talking in person or over the phone or whatever. There are certain things you say and how you say it. There are certain things that you move on your body as we're speaking in an engagement. That mean things in the sales conversation or just the conversation that we're doing. And so if a person, like it's in my book, Profiling for Profit, What Crossed Arms Don't Tell You, right? What does that mean? Well, if I've got my arms crossed, I'm not buying anything you're going to put on me, right?
Yeah, that's the common knowledge, right?
Yeah. Well, I sold my first $2,000 suit to somebody who was standing in front of me just like this, only their head was left, right? And their head left, correct. So for those of you who are listening in, I got to make sure that I was right. Their head was leaning left. So if you were to pick up a baby, okay, I'm a dad. I pick up my daughter and I would put her over my left side, over my heart, and I would nurture her. Okay. Center line left means nurture, trust, love, all of those positive responses to the body. The other side is distrust, deflection, fear, all those kinds of things. So what does that mean? So that means if I'm presenting to the board of directors of a company and I'm reading how they move around with their heads and their bodies as they're paying attention to me, I can adjust what I'm saying to them so that they better understand. Because the sales conversation is about understanding the other person, not necessarily selling to them. You can sell something to somebody once, but to connect with them and they have no like and trust with you, you can sell to them over and over and over again. And even better yet, they're going to send you all their friends and people that they know, because
they become fans.
Yeah. Like pirates,
like
fans.
Just like pirates, folks.
Just like pirates. Okay. So the book teaches on how to communicate better. Coronavirus has got us a little hooked up right now, but if you were to go into an event, one chapter in the book is how to go to a networking event, read the room in a couple of seconds when you walk in, and what to do before you walk in the room to get yourself, your mind and your presence connected. And so
I want to talk about that a little deeper. And first, I want to recognize a couple of people that are here, Terry, just to acknowledge them. Gabriel, he's a future pirate. We got him on board. He's doing some live streaming, so he's an awesome individual, and he's practicing social distancing and connecting with people. So we can do both. As you know, we're here on the Pirate Broadcast. We're actually live streaming here. And Bernie, thank you so much for joining us. Carol Campos, good morning. Latasha, Jesse, Roz, all of these individuals that are, they have lives, they have busy things to do, and they're joining us. So we got a few people that have jumped in and joined us today, Terry. So I really want to acknowledge the individuals that take the time to understand a little bit of what we are around the world and who we connect with, because to me, it's always fascinating to learn something about someone else. And I know we all have a connection. And if you dive in deep enough, you'll find those connections. It's like you're talking about, you go to the dock and, you'd be at the cafe with the cappuccino there. Well, my profiling efforts came from being a musician in a bar for years and having to understand who's ready to erupt and who's not ready to erupt. And reading people is a key benefit. And you talked about networking and networking events. And I want to take it a little different direction, Terry, if we can, is because I think, right now we need the skills to understand a little bit more about ourselves. What is it that we're doing and what can we do to do a little self-reflection and understand who we are as individuals and a little bit of our superpower. Your superpower is understanding what people do and their moves and their motions and their emotions around that. And I think a lot of people are not in tune with that. So when we talk about your book and some of the work that you've done, how does that fit in, and how can people start to become more aware in this time that we're living in to, do some self-reflection and understand, okay, well, I'm not quite ready to jump off the bridge here. However, I know I got some work to do. So, what's the benefit that we can share today with the community?
Wow, that's good. That's a really good setup. When we network, and you and I are talking right now, and people that are be watching us, and those who are listening to us, there are certain things that the way people talk, how fast they talk, what is the formality of their language? Do they all of a sudden enunciate very carefully and speak just a little bit slower when they talk to you? We learn that very early on in life. A lot of time that's condescending. Somebody wants to make sure, Terry, that you understand what I am saying. You get that? It's like, okay, can you push me just a little bit longer, or do you want to just hit me over the head? But when we're talking to people, even over Skype, Zoom, on the phone or whatever, how are my words, my actions getting my message to the receiver? It's not what I say, it's what you hear. Okay. And how you interpret what you hear.
Perception is my reality.
Exactly. Right. And presence is the point where manifestation becomes action. Whatever manifestation represents for you. It could be a sale, it could be a new girlfriend, whatever it is. Okay. presence is everything. So when you're fully present with somebody and you're observing them, not from a position of how to respond, but from a position of understanding. Okay. So you're not listening to somebody for your comeback. You're listening to somebody to understand what they're saying and how can you use it to help yourself first and then help others. There's a Native American saying, you can't give what you don't have. So basically, if you want to give love, give yourself love first.
Yeah.
And then when you give somebody love, it's more authentic. It has a different vibration of your body because we all vibrate. Everything vibrates.
Yeah.
And so if you're vibrating that love out rather than just saying the word love, you're actually giving love out, then the people are receiving authentic love and they can send it back to you. You know, like you and I are giving each other love right now. And it's that play back and forth is authentic because it's real. And so how does other people do that? My book is got some really good pieces in it of how to do that from that position of not to respond, but to understand.
Well, and I think especially in this day and age, social media is kind of a catch-22. It's a great tool and it's allowed me the opportunity to have friends all over the world. The downside though is the chasing the comparison. When you have an opportunity, when you're thinking, well, wait a second, they're further along than I am. And or they're doing something different, or should I do this? Am I doing the wrong thing? And it's a guessing game. Then anytime you start comparing what others are doing around you, and when you're putting yourself out there, like in a loving, kind way, and you want to react and respond in a certain way, not everybody's willing to respond back the way you're putting it out. Not everybody's responding to understand, and I found that when you remove your expectations about what you're putting out there, everything's okay. It's really okay. And it's like, you don't have to have anybody's acknowledgement or understanding. As long as you, like you said, if I love myself and I love what I'm doing and I love what I'm putting out there, that's enough. That's my path. I gotta, you have a journey, you have a mission, you have this understanding. When you were on the edge of the building, ready to give it up in 2009, you said,
yeah.
There's so many times I look back in my life and, I've fallen 3 stories. I've been in car wrecks that I should not be here. I mean, circumstances that I probably, given a slightly different outcome, I wouldn't be here. And so I feel like I'm here for a reason, right? Just like you did. And putting this message out and sharing this stuff is really important to me. And so I just want to thank you for doing it and being here and being present and sharing this information with us, Terry. So I want to talk a little bit about our current situation and how people can frame their own emotions around it. We don't want to necessarily build the brain activity in a negative way. I think right now we need to look at things in somehow frame it in a positive way, and how we can be protective of ourselves and building those connections in our brain don't necessarily need to be a negative thing, even though there are some unfortunate circumstances and a lot of people will be impacted. Talk about how you can frame things in your life in a positive way, because I'm an advocate for that. And I just kind of want to get your perspective on that.
Yeah, what immediately comes to mind, Russ, is what other people think is none of your business. That's hard to do, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And, there's no one way for everyone to be okay with themselves. Mm-hmm. When you're an hourly employee in the hospitality business right now, your world really sucks.
Yeah.
And if you're an hourly employee in the hospitality or in the hospital and medical field, your life is absolute chaos. Uh, the old adage for the fly caught in a spider's web, life is chaos. For the spider, it's another day.
Yeah.
So where are you at? You get to ask yourself, where am I at with all of this? What can I control and what can I not control? Because what I can control is completely up to me. But what I can't control, I can let go. It's not mine. I don't get to carry it. People, yes, this coronavirus, this is a first in the world. Okay. Yes, the Black Plague in Europe and stuff like that stopped work and stopped everything because everybody was sick. There was nothing. There was no alternative.
Right.
That was it. Today, there is alternatives, but we're taking because of this platform, the internet, and everything. We can share this information live with people, so they can make those decisions. What can I control? What can I not control?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things. There's breathing exercises. There's a lot of different stuff. Meditations. You can go meditate for hours at a time. Well, if you're not completely present with that meditation, it doesn't matter if it's 15 seconds or 15 hours. You're not going to get the benefit. But if you just stop and say, okay, this is what I got. I got me first. Then I got my family. Now I can go from there.
Yeah.
But it's me first. It's like being on the airplane. When that oxygen mask comes down, you got to be first, or you're going to die trying to help everybody else. Not going to happen. It's not smart. So here we are in this situation right now where we all get to change the way we do business every day and live in this world. And that is wash your hands all the time. Right. I come in from the grocery store, which was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
I live in a small metropolitan area in Asheville, North Carolina, not like New York and Phoenix and these different places where you stand in lines to get into the store that's half empty. So, the dynamic is way different, but the principles of your mindset is not. Okay. It doesn't matter if you spend 2 hours standing in line to go in and get a shot at toilet paper or 10 minutes to go in line and buy all you want. The mindset is, am I coming from scarcity or am I coming from a place of love for me? Because if I love me, I'll figure it out how to fix that. Will I go and tear up some t-shirts and take care of myself and wash those t-shirts every day after I'm done because there is no option? Then there's no option. It's just, okay, this is the way it is. Then that's the way it is. If you went camping and there was a storm came up, it is what it is. You figure out a way to get through the storm.
You have to work around it, through it, to
whatever it is. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. And I was in a big Zoom chat room earlier this morning. It was international. And the thing that came through with everybody is one word that kept resonating, and that's community. I saw a video this last weekend of a guy driving up and down the street with a bingo thing on the back of his truck. Okay. And everybody in his neighborhood were outside on their driveways with bingo cards playing community bingo. You're going to do what you're going to do. Nobody's loving and hugging and, being with each other, but they were with each other. They said, okay, we're going to do something. Yeah. And we're going to do it all together. We're not going to sit in our houses and overdose on Netflix or whatever. There's nothing wrong with Netflix because I don't watch television. Okay. I haven't for years. But man, I can do some stars and Netflix and stuff like that because I get to choose what I get to see.
Yeah. And you get the choice.
Yeah. The choice is me. I make the choices. I get to make the choice. I don't have to make the choice. I teach this in my company. You get to versus have to. You have to get up on time. You've
I
got
think
to
that's
get
a
the
huge
kids out.
mindset that people don't really. It's a change in the way the sentence is said, but it's a huge mind shift. If I get to do something like this show, I get to do this show. I get the opportunity to interview people that I find fascinating, and I get to share this opportunity. That's a completely different position than, oh man, I have to get up. I have to wake up early and I have to do the show again. Dang.
Yeah, I got to shave. I'm going to be on camera. What is
Yeah.
this? Right?
Like, dang.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Carol is here. Angie, Vicky Lolly, thank you so much. Vicky O'Neill, Bernie, thank you for the comments. Thank you so much for the service. Kenyatta, real talk. Roz, one foot in front of the other. Absolutely to that, Roz. Can someone share the guest name, please? Yes, Terry Earthwind Nichols. Terry Earthwind Nichols. Jessica Geo, good morning. Terry, good morning, Russ. We are in an era of transformation. And just like you've transformed from, the Navy and the structure and everything that goes along with this to helping international clients get unstuck, and finding their fix, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we take this time in our lives and we get more present with ourselves, start loving ourselves, and love is abundant. You can't run out of abundance, right? So it's really one of those things that we can reflect on, we can, meditate on, and understand that this too will be something that we'll look back on, and we can either say we did some amazing things to create a new future, or we're going to say coulda, shoulda, woulda. And my position is I want to make sure that as many people as possible have a positive outlook, have a positive outcome, and continue to move forward in what they're doing in improving their own life and the lives of others around them. So that's what a pirate's all about. So thank you so much for being here, Terry. Any closing last words, any epiphanies that you want to share with the community and big ideas that I think are going to last forever?
Well, if anybody wants to find me, there's about 10,000 Terry Nichols out there, but there's only one Terry Earthwind Nichols. That's my tribal name. I'm Chickamauga Cherokee. Okay. And I use it that way because if people want to find out about me, I'm an open book. So they can just Google Terry Earthwind Nichols, and you got my YouTube channels, you got everything that you want. Enjoy, contact me if you feel the pull. That I would say that thing that really resonates with all of us in these days is, just remain true to yourself and smile at somebody. Be kind. We're all going through this. Nobody's exempt. We have movie stars in coronavirus. We have 100-year-old people who are surviving it. We have newborns that are surviving it. Okay? It's for all of us. There's no economic cutoff for this one.
There's no geographic, demographic.
Yeah, it's all over the world.
Boundaries.
And we'll all get through it.
And I could talk a little bit. I mean, we could talk for hours, I'm sure, about different subjects, Terry. And I just want to make sure that people understand and appreciate the fact that this can bring us together, humanity, because this is a common thread that we're all working towards solving. This is something. So look at it from that perspective, and not a me too, I'm going to get my toilet paper kind of attitude, because we don't need to be. Everything is able to be solved. We're able to solve these challenges. It may not be the outcome in the process that we would like to see. However, this will pass, and this will be something that we're going to have to live through and survive and thrive in. So I just think it's the more positive and the more love and kindness and, generosity and gratitude we can put out in the world, the better off we're going to be. So
yeah, man. Yeah,
that's
man.
my story. I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah, that's my story too. It's just, it is what it is, and it's going to get better. If you really look at the overall picture of the world, we don't have any world wars. We have war zones and those kinds of things, and they're going away too. This is the time, and the indigenous cultures teach us that this is the age of Aquarius, which is water. Water connects to water, and the people of the earth, man, us everyday people, we're tired of status quo. We're coming back. We're going together. We're coming to a community. Yeah. We're giving up this we-they stuff. It's a beautiful time. We just get through this rough spot, and I look to a very bright future. I really do.
Yeah, I as well. Well, thank you, Terry, so much for being here. And as I always say, kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. And I also want to share one more last thing is this Wednesday night, I'm going to put on a webinar to talk about using video to stay connected with your community, stay connected and making sure that things are operating smoothly as possible for you and your environment. So Wednesday night, I'll drop it in the comments. I'll drop the links in the comments, make sure that you can attend. It's free of charge. I'm just here to help and help us get through this. So Terry, as always, it's a pleasure. I look forward to future conversations, and you enjoy the day.
You too. Thank you very much, Russ. This is cool.
Take care.
Fire it on.